Hey everyone, it's awesomon2 here with a new roster. Finally, after like 3 months. It's mainly because I'm really lazy and I've been a bit busy lately being lazy, but I finished the roster and here it is. So let's get on with the explanations. For the Mario section, I had Bowser Jr., obviously. I don't think he really needs an explanation. King K. Rool for being basically the villain of Donkey Kong, and for being a reoccurring character in the Donkey Kong games. Toon Zelda for being a reoccurring character in the Legend of Zelda games, and for having possibilities for a decloned moveset. Ridley, because I think Metroid deserves another rep for having so many new games out, and if you're gonna add another Metroid rep, I think the only person that would fit it is Ridley, and he could be like resized. I think they made him a little big in Brawl, compared to the opening credit to Melee, so I think he should just be like hunched over a bit, and that could work, kind of like Charizard. Then we have Waddle Dee for being one of the recurring enemies in Kirby games, and for making a playable appearance in the newest Kirby game, Kirby's Return to Dreamland. So I think that could work. He could like use a spear, and that would work for a unique character. Crystal, to the Star Fox series. She was in 3 out of the 5 Star Fox games, and I think that's enough for her to be in, and we need more female characters in the game. Starfy, yeah, I guess it's debatable, but just because Sakurai hates him doesn't mean the fans won't get him in. I mean, the only reason Sonic's in is because of the fans in America. I don't think Sakurai likes Sonic that much. I don't know if he's a big fan of having third parties in, but the only reason Sonic got in was because of the fans. So I think Starfy deserves a chance before he's knocked down completely. So for the Pokemon section, I added Meowth, and I think that he's good because he's basically Pikachu's rival in the animes, and the anime was the only reason Pikachu and Jigglypuff got in. Also, for being pretty much the mascot of Pokemon, Pikachu got in. And Zoroark for being a good Unova rep, and he's replacing Lucario because we haven't seen a new Sinnoh game lately, and I don't think that's really going to work out if we have Lucario in. I'm going to do the third parties last, so you don't get confused with why I'm skipping over Mega Man and Geno. Next, we have Samurai Goro, because I think F-Zero deserves another rep after being repless for 3 games. They've had just as many games as Earthbound. Their most recent game was as recent as the newest Earthbound game, so I think they deserve a rep as well. Next, we have Shulk for being Nintendo's newest character, and for being an original, having possibilities for a really original moveset, and for Xenoblade being successful. Also, I've added Chrom and replaced Ike with Micaiah for the Fire Emblem section. I've added Micaiah, or replaced Ike with Micaiah, because I think that we've seen too much of the swords from Fire Emblem. We need to move on from that and look at some other things that people from Fire Emblem can do. I'd say that her magic powers would work for an interesting moveset. Chrom for being the newest protagonist in the Fire Emblem games. Ike replaced Roy, and Chrom will probably replace Ike. I don't think we're going to see Ike in ssb4, but Chrom could just be a clone of Ike, so that works out pretty nicely. I had Lil Mac for basically, I don't think he needs much of an explanation. He's a fighter. I think he's almost guaranteed to be in. He had a new game for the Wii. And he made an appearance in Brawl as an assist trophy. That's enough said. Duck Hunt Dog. Yeah, he's my surprise character. I put him in because he's from a classic game, and I think people would actually be surprised if he was in, unlike Sukapon. Sukapon is no longer a surprise character because people expect him to be in. So I'd say that his moveset would revolve around ducks, like using the ducks as weapons and maybe using the nest gun, the nest shooter, whatever it's called. And I think that he could work as a playable character. He'd be very unique. He's never fought in a game before, and that's probably part of the job description of a surprise character. Mr. Game & Watch never fought, and Rob didn't even have a game before, but he had stuff that could help him with the moveset. Like, Rob was a robot, and robots have basic things like laser eyes and other things. And Game & Watch had other things that could help him fight. That's the same with the Duck Hunt Dog. He's a classic character that could use other things from his game to help him fight. So I think that he's a good surprise character to put in. Moving on to the third-party characters, we got Mega Man to represent Capcom for this. Yeah. Mega Man doesn't really need much of an explanation. He's had a lot of new games for the Wii. He's recurring on Nintendo systems. And because he was in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, well, that was a game not for the Wii, and this is a Nintendo game, so I don't think that really matters too much. Gino is in my roster because I think that he could work as a representation of the Mario RPG series and a third-party rep for Square Enix. He'd have a very unique moveset with his different powers and abilities. Some people might say he hasn't appeared in 14 years in a game. Well, neither has Game & Watch or Rob, because he never appeared in the game at all. But since then, his fan base has gotten bigger, and he was one of the most wanted characters to be put in Brawl. They were going to put Lucas in Melee, and then they put him in Brawl, so I think if they were going to put Gino in Brawl, they'd put him in ssb4. Just to wrap things up, my concluding thoughts on this, I didn't have a new Kid Icarus rep because they don't have enough important characters to be in, like Mangus. You played as him for what, like 1 or 2 levels, and I don't think Medusa's too big and Palutena's too cheap or too big. I don't think any other Kid Icarus character would work. I know Sakurai likes Kid Icarus a lot, but I don't think that they need a new rep right away, and I don't think there's enough any characters that would work as a new representation for Kid Icarus. Along with Olimar, I don't have a new Pikmin rep because he, maybe he's the only one who's can represent Pikmin properly. Like, maybe there's Louie and stuff, but he's basically the same as Olimar. So there's no other characters that would work that aren't, like, exactly the same as Olimar. Yeah, you can critique this if you want. It has 50 characters. Some other random facts. I don't really know how to end this video, so I'm just gonna say, for all those people who weren't waiting for this roster, all the people who were, enjoy.